and enough. And if you're a child of God, if you've been blood bought and grace taught and you're being spirit taught, that means God with all of his power is living down inside of you, and there is nothing that God can do in your life. David moved in the confidence that God was with him. And that's why the text testifies that David became greater and greater. Now, I'm not preaching to everybody, but there are at least 22 of you in here tonight who are on your way to greater. So God will go neighbor and say, neighbor, I'm on my way. God tap and say, stay right here if you want to, but I'm on my way to greater. I'm not helpless. I'm not hopeless. I'm not powerless. I'm not deviant, dumb, dangerous, or dysfunctional. But I am a child of the true and living God. My past cannot contain me, and my future cannot wait for my arrival. We call it condition by the past, but let me rush. Essential number 2, it's don't be afraid of the present. Because whatever your challenge is, I got 2 words for you, face it. Because God wanted me to tell you a secret about your struggles. They are not what they look like. Okay, but let me engage in a little exegetical examination, because verse 6, I know where you're stuck. Some of you are still stuck with verse 6, because I told you in the opening that there were these 2 grotesque, huge, presumably demonic figures at the gates of Jerusalem, and nobody attacked Jerusalem because they assumed that these 2 figures had supernatural power and would destroy any would-be attacker. They assumed that because they were superstitious. And you know superstitious, don't you? Don't look at me like you don't know what it is. Don't walk under a ladder. Don't step on a crack. You'll break your mama back. That's why you eat. Don't let a woman be the first one to come in your house on New Year's Day. You eat greens for money. Black-eyed peas. Okay, y'all don't act like you don't know. You know superstitious. David knew something that he wasn't supposed to know, and the child of God always does. Because God talks to those who talk to him. Because with God there ain't no king. And so during his tour in the wilderness, as a fugitive on the run, David had gathered some information from WikiLeaks on the reclusive Jebusites. And the secret he uncovered made him realize that those 2 figures were neither magical nor supernatural, but in reality, they were mechanical forms connected to a piece of hydraulic engineering. Y'all missed it. That somebody only had to move a lever inside the gate of the city of Jerusalem, and the force of water from the Gihon spring piped into place through an ingenious piece of plumbing would set old lame Jacob and old blind Isaac to spookily lurching and jerking as people approached. David realized that their fear, like all of our fears, are a fraud. Okay, I'll break it down like a fraction. Most of what you scared of ain't even real. Captain nigga say it ain't even real. See, there was nothing to those 2 figures but pipes, pulleys, hinges, and smoke. And if you don't believe me, when David commanded the capture of Jerusalem, he gave his men simple instructions. He said, first, I want you to go down the ravine and pull back the vines, and you'll find some water pipes. I want you to smash the water pipes. That would disconnect the statues from the source of their power. He said, then I want you to come up the ravine, and I want you to smash those statues, the lame and the blind, into pieces and throw them against the walls of the city of Jerusalem. David's men followed his instructions. They did just as he said. And when the Jebusites looked out and saw the water pipe smashed, when the Jebusites looked out and saw the statues in pieces, when the Jebusites looked out and saw the jig was up, they opened the gates and came out with their hands up. You missed your shot. The fight was over before the fight ever started. Because God will have his way. go down. And I need to remind somebody here tonight that the enemy of your soul knows how to manipulate smoke and mirrors. That the enemy knows how to make your test seem tremendous and your trial seem insurmountable, because the drive of the demonic is to destroy your dreams and dismantle your hopes. The aim of the adversary is to make you so afraid of what might happen that you overlook what has happened and ignore what can happen. 1 Peter 5:8 says, your adversary, the devil, prowls about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And we all agree that the roar of a lion is frightening. But if a lion ain't got no teeth, I'll wait for you. If the lion ain't got no teeth, tap your neighbor and say, it's just noise. Okay, let me try and help you. From time to time, I watch the Nature Channel, and I saw a special by Bill Gothard on lions, and he pointed out some things about lions that I knew and other things that I didn't know. He said lions live in a pride. Check, I knew that. He said lions, as they age, they lose their speed. Check, I knew that. He said in the pride, they do everything together. They hunt together, they eat together, they sleep together, they play together, they fight together. Check, I knew that. But he said as lions age, they lose their teeth. I didn't know that. He said, but even though they lose their teeth, they still have a function in the pride. Every old lion in First Baptist tonight should have went in right there. I'm saying it slow. And he said, even though they lose their teeth, they still have a function in the pride. I need all the old lions who glad you live to get old. To tap all the young lions and say, don't think because I can't do everything, but I can't do nothing. And I can still do something. The older lions, wait, I'm not just making it up, folks. The older lions who have been slowed by time, get this, and you'll appreciate this, have the loudest roar because they have the best developed vocal cords. But the older lions, when it's time to hunt, don't run with the young lions. I'm going to help somebody. I got to stop. The old lions don't run with the young lions. Go on, bump your neighbor and say, you better leave them young lions alone. See, the function of the old lion is to get up on the hill and roar. And they're afraid, not knowing that the old lions cannot catch them because they're too slow. And they cannot eat them because they ain't got no teeth. They hear the roar and take off running, not knowing that they're running towards the tall grass where the young lions are crouched down.